Welcome back to Matt's Automotive Channel. We finally have all the parts necessary to rebuild our transmission, so let's get to work. All right, we're now looking here at the Planetary gears. This is the old one, and this is the new one that we got. This is the one that has the broken teeth on it. And the end play in these Planetary gears should be 30 thousandths or less. And if you look real close here, you'll see that there's a little washer there, and I cannot fit this in. Then you go over to the next one, little washer there. Cannot fit this in. And then you go to this one, and wait a minute, where's the washer? Oh, look at that. It fits in there no problem. So those little pieces of metal that were shiny and thin, it was that washer that got destroyed. And then it came apart and probably chomped up these gears. Now here's the new one, and if we look at it, it's got that little spacer in there, and I cannot fit 30 thousandths in on any side. So this is definitely good, and this is definitely where the failure was. Then again, on the broken one, you can see the tooth that's missing there. Got broke. I think it happened in several different places there too. And also, of course, on the sun gear, we had, let's see, where is it? Right there. There's some broken teeth. And we got another sun gear, a new sun gear. And inspecting this one looks good. So I think we're in good shape replacing this Planetary gear system and the sun gear. I think that was the whole problem with the transmission. Okay, I pulled out the fragments of metal that we got, or that we found in the valve body. And now that we look at this closer, these little dark pieces here, that's going to be the gear that came apart, and over here too. And these shiny pieces over here, that's going to be one of these rings. Here's a good one here, and you can see that it's just missing on this one. So I think this one here got destroyed, and that's what we're seeing here. And then there's the teeth from the gear. Now in comparing our old one with the new one, we see that we're missing the set of bearings here in this old one. So we'll inspect that, make sure all the bearings are good, and then transfer it over from this one to the new one. Okay, let's just see if we can lift this system out. Yep, no problem at all. And if we look around here, all these bearings seem to move smoothly. I don't see any chips or pits in any of them. So I think we're safe to transfer this one over. Just like so. Let me start by saying I did a number of things off camera, and I didn't really feel it was necessary. I just wanted to double check everything since I had it apart, and everything looked good, so I'm not going to bother putting that on video. It would just take too long, but I did disassemble the pump. Everything looked good in there. Also disassembled all the clutch packs over here. Everything looked good, no burnt clutches or anything like that. So anyway, let's go ahead and start the rebuild with testing the direct clutch drum right over here. I went ahead and reassembled all the parts. Then I took off the shell from it so we could expose these O-rings here to make sure that they seal well. We got the bearing here. Reassembled the clutch pack. The amount of end play should be between 60 to 90 thousandths. And after playing around with this for a little bit, we have about 62 thousandths, so that's good. And I went ahead and lubed up the O-rings here with some just regular transmission fluid. And we'll put this assembly back onto the end here. And then we'll test it using some compressed air and see if the clutch engages and if we detect any kind of leakage at all. We'll always detect a little bit, but we'll see if it's excessive. And we'll do that by applying pressure into this little hole here. And then we'll observe, make sure that the clutch comes out there and compresses the pack, and then listen for leakage. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. All right, let's go ahead and test this. I'm gonna hit it with about 45 PSI. So I got the compressor out, and I got the rubber tip here, so we can just put it up into the hole here, seal it, and inject some air. Okay, so got about 45 PSI here. I'm gonna inject some air into the hole here. You can see that the clutch definitely pops out there. And there is some leakage, which is expected, but it's obviously not excessive. See it go back in. Let's give it one more shot here. Yeah, I think this is good. There should be no issues with the direct drive clutch pack here. So we'll go ahead and reassemble this and then set it aside. All right, let's go ahead and reassemble the shell. By the way, this should spin freely, no problem. There is a little bearing here. This little thrust bearing should go on with the protrusion here on the outside. Okay, now we can set this one aside and we'll go on to the next component. Next, let's look at the forward drum assembly. The end play on the forward drum is supposed to be between 52 and 90 thousandths. After playing around with this for a little bit, I think we're right here at about 58. So this is good. The reverse clutch end play should be between 40 thousandths to 58 thousandths. And what we have here is 54 thousandths. So that looks good. And here's the pump assembly taken somewhat apart. Found no issues with this. Now let's place the reverse drum onto the pump, and then we'll use compressed air again to test it. All right, now we'll apply pressure to this port here, the most left one of these four. Now let's test the forward drum. We'll put the bearing on with a little protrusion downward, and then the forward clutch. All right, now I'll count 3 over, 1, 2, 3, and apply pressure here and test the forward clutch drum. All right, we definitely have a problem here, so I'll have to find out what's going on, because the air pressure won't hold the clutch pack together. It falls right back out, so something's going on here. All right, I'm thinking that maybe the problem is the fact that I'm trying to test it at an angle, and the seal, it's popping the seal out a little bit. So I'm gonna cut a little hole in this lid here so I can actually test the thing vertically. So have a little place for the shaft to go. There, we'll give that a shot. Let's give this a try. I think that there may not have been enough weight holding it sideways to keep that seal, so I think it was blown out a little bit. So if we go vertically, I think there might be enough weight there. Hopefully that's the issue. If not, we got some bigger problem. Okay, now let's give it a shot. And again, the third notch over is the forward drum. So let's hit it with some pressure again and see if that was our problem. Fingers crossed. At least it holds it up. It still sounds like a lot of leakage. So that was part of our problem, but it sounds like there's too much. So we'll take it back apart and take a look at the seals. Okay, I lubed up the seals. Let me try it again. Not a whole lot of difference. All right, after playing around with it a little bit more, what I discovered was that this was not fully seated. I twisted this down and it went down another click. So it was not fully seated. So now we'll try it. There, look, it's holding it now. So I think we're good. All right, now we can take the assembly back apart. I did a little research and found that this bearing on the Planetary gear system, the smaller one, not the larger one on the other side, oftentimes wears when there's too much play. And I'm just wondering if that could have potentially caused an issue with these Planetary gear teeth getting broken. So anyway, there's supposed to be 2/1000ths play between that and the shaft that goes in here. So let's check that out. I'll go ahead and pull this out. Take those bearings out. And then we can lift this hub out. Now this here is the shaft that goes into here. So let's check it for play. So make sure that the bearings are on this piece. Invert it and we'll set it in here. It spins freely as it should. But we're getting a lot of wobble there. Not a whole lot of side to side, but we definitely have some wobble. And I'm wondering if that could have potentially caused this thing to fail. So I think I'll order up another one of those bushings, and we'll take this one out and put the new one in. All right, just for practice, I'm not going to take the one out of the good unit over here yet. So I'll take the one that we know that's damaged and pull the bushing out of this one. And then also we can measure it and make sure that when we get another one that it's the proper size. You can put a screwdriver down there and get to the edge of it like so, and then just tap it out. So that's what we'll try doing. So to keep this vertical, we'll go ahead and put it in here, and then hopefully just pop it out. All right, let's give it a try. Definitely going. There we go. All right, so we got the bushing out here. Let's measure it so we make sure that when we order it, we get in the right thing. Looks like the outer diameter is 1.378. And of course, inner diameter is probably not real accurate anymore. This should be, whatever we order should have a smaller diameter because we know that this is worn. But it looks like inner diameter is 1.244. So I went ahead and placed an order for the rear planetary bushing for this car, and then I also just learned that the clutch on my wife's GT500 is going out. It's spinning like crazy, and that is her daily driver, so that's going to have to take priority over this car. And besides, I'll get the clutch for that car before I get the bushing for this car. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put the wheels back on it. We'll roll it out and then bring her car in, and I'll start the next video doing the clutch on the 2010 GT500. once we get that done, we should have the part for the transmission in here, and we'll go ahead and resume the rebuild of the transmission. So anyway, I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.